I have always championed cooperation between Islamic finance and Western conventional financial services. Why? Because I believe that Islamic banking and finance is a very unique phenomenon. This is something which is happening in the Islamic history after a very long time. Last time this kind of phenomenon happened, that was in Spain when Muslims ruled the country. That was the time when different communities lived together working for a single cause, i.e. social welfare and the welfare of all. Islamic banking and finance is unique in many respects, and one of its uniqueness is that this is actually liked by many people, and at the same time it's misunderstood by the Muslims as well as by the non-Muslims. Islamic banking and finance, for example, is not liked by the most conservative Muslims. Why? Because they believe that this is too liberal, and at the same time it is not liked by many of the Muslims who are too liberal, because they would not like to associate themselves with something which has to do anything with Islam. Similarly, many non-Muslims think that this is actually something only for Muslims. This is not true. When I look at Islamic banking and finance, I find that almost everyone is involved in Islamic banking and finance from different communities. I find Muhammad in Jeddah, I find Noor Haliza in Kuala Lumpur, and I find Mike and John in London involved in Islamic banking and finance. And it's not only Muslims and non-Muslims in general. When I look into different communities in Islamic banking and finance, Muslims are involved, Christians are involved, Jews are involved, Chinese are involved, Hindus are involved, and there are so many other communities which are involved in Islamic banking and finance. Given this integrating phenomenon, I believe that there is a great opportunity for the West to engage itself with Islamic banking and finance with a view to engage West with the Muslim communities in general. Given this bridging role of Islamic banking and finance, I believe that there is a great opportunity for the West to get involved in Islamic banking and finance. Not only get involved, but I would say that support Islamic banking and finance, because this is in the best interest of everyone who is concerned with social welfare globally. There are some Western countries which have already played an important role in supporting Islamic banking and finance, and in this respect I must mention the role of United Kingdom. Different institutions and authorities in United Kingdom have actually been very supportive of Islamic banking and finance. To start with, it was Lord Eddie George when he was governor of the central bank, i.e. Bank of England. He started a working group which was very sympathetic towards Islamic banking and finance, and that led later on for Financial Services Authority to become sympathetic and supportive of Islamic banking and finance. As a result of this supporting stance of the authorities like Bank of England and Financial Services Authority in UK, Islamic banking and finance is flourishing in this country. Now in UK we have 5 banks, 5 Islamic banks, 1 retail Islamic bank and 4 Islamic investment banks. And with this development, London has actually emerged as one of the centers of excellence in Islamic investment banking. This is actually bringing a lot of benefits to United Kingdom in terms of capital inflows from the Muslim countries, especially from the GCC countries. There are a number of other countries which have recognized the importance of Islamic banking and finance. Singapore, another non-Muslim country, has decided to support Islamic financial services, and as a result of that, there is an increasing number of Islamic financial institutions which are actually considering going into Singapore financial markets. Hong Kong is another one, and I believe that there will be some other Western countries like France. France has traditionally been at best indifferent to Islamic banking and finance, but the current regime in France has decided to support Islamic banking and finance, and we believe that this will be very soon, when there will be at least one Islamic bank, if not more, operating in the French jurisdiction. A number of Western institutions have played their role in the development of Islamic banking and financial services industry. Almost all the Western investment banks, particularly British investment banks and other European investment banks, have been engaged in Islamic investment banking. The likes of UBS, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, ABN AMRO previously and now Royal Bank of Scotland, BNP Paribas, and so many other European investment banks have played a tremendously important role in bringing Sharia compliant innovation to Islamic financial services industry. If this cooperation continues, I believe that these investment banks would benefit from a number of Islamic financial doctrines, which is a contribution of Islam to financial services industry. The current financial crisis, for example, could have been averted had investment banks observed certain Islamic prohibitions. For example, Islam prohibits discounted trading in debt, and this is something which many banks in the United States were involved in before the crisis started. And actually, one of the reasons for the crisis is discounted trading in debt. Certainly, there are some other principles which could have been observed by Western banks to avoid this kind of problems. One of these is coming up with responsible derivative structures. Islam has for long emphasized that although it is possible to structure derivative products in a Sharia compliant way, but there are certain rules which should be observed to make sure that there is no trading in debt over debt. This is one of the characteristics of Western investment products, especially structured products and derivative products. If these prohibitions which come from Islam would have been observed, at least the magnitude of financial crisis could have been shortened.